Today, we talked about Project Healing Waters, which is a ministry here in Lake County for veterans. We just encourage you to check out your area. There are many opportunities to care for our veterans and the ways that they've served this country. Good morning. We'd like to talk today about Project Healing Waters, one of the ministries here at Holy Cross. I think there are a lot of things that happen at the congregation, of course, on the weekends, but during the week, there are things that also take place that maybe people aren't always aware of. And today, I'm grateful that we have Peggy Chartier and Sam Sides, who are both involved in Project Healing Waters, and for us to have a conversation about how this all came to be. So I think, Sam, you were part of it early on.
Right.
We started having some conversations with Trout Unlimited, and then James A. Lovell Federal Medical Center, and Project Healing Waters, which is a national organization. And they weren't too sure, were they, about if this could
You were
work?
very instrumental in starting this up. And it took a while, but you were, I think, the lead, very instrumental in getting this started.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
It was a diverse group
Yeah.
that you brought together.
Well, as I remember, it was probably about 10 years ago that we started these conversations. And it took a year and a half to get everybody in a place of comfort to move forward with this. And I remember Trout Unlimited had said initially they had heard about Project Healing Waters. They just didn't think that they could probably carry it out all by themselves. And when we reached out to James A. Lovell, to the Federal Medical Center over there, they had the same feeling. They said, yeah, we would love to do this, but there's no way that we feel like we can do it all on our own. And I think, to your point, that's where Holy Cross kind of was the glue that brought these entities together and for us to begin those conversations. And of course, Project Healing Waters, when we reached out to them, they had not worked with a congregation, a faith community before, and so there was a little uncertainty how this would be structured and so forth. But I think we've done okay, right?
I think we've done pretty well.
Yeah. What's your impression of Project Healing Waters about this model that we've put together here?
It's not really the national model because of Holy Cross being involved, but it's so great for the veterans, as Peggy could say.
Absolutely. It's wonderful to see them here once a month.
At the church, they love coming here. Everybody says how open and welcoming Holy Cross is. And I think that helps them, it helps us. It just makes them feel at ease.
Yeah.
They really enjoy.
People may not be aware, so what happens here at Holy Cross? Can you kind of run down?
We have two organizations or two groups. The day session, which meets second and fourth Wednesday from 11:30 to 2. The older veterans out of Lovell. And then the evening group, the post 9/11 group, meets Wednesday evenings. The day group, fish when we can, but mainly come to Holy Cross, and the ladies, we have lunch, serve them, and talk. The evening group, it's more fishing, fellowship,
Right.
friendship.
So the whole premise of Project Healing Waters is the idea that it's not just feeding them. That's part of it. But it really is the idea that the concept was put together that how can veterans sometimes come back into the world after serving our country, and they have to kind of rethink, redefine what's normal for them, correct?
Yes.
And I think one of the ideas behind Project Healing Waters is, well, fly fishing may not be something that everyone is familiar with. It is something that gets people outside. It gets them to think about maybe something that they did enjoy before, but think about it differently. But more importantly, it really deals with that isolation that a lot of times veterans feel and stuff.
And especially the older or the younger group, the post 9/11 group, Iraq, Afghanistan, they have issues. But it gets them out, they meet people, it's relaxing, and it draws them out. So,
And we have folks from Holy Cross, as you mentioned, but then we also have people from Trout Unlimited,
Yes.
right? And they really bring the expertise, the fly fishing and so forth, how to tie flies, how to cast, that all of
rod building.
all of that,
yes.
right? And then there's also the folks from Lovell too, right? So the staff is involved from Lovell as well.
Yes.
Right. And it's kind of nice to see them and their interaction.
They the staff really appreciates everything we do. It helps them, and I don't want to say it gets the veterans out, but they're out of that environment.
Yeah.
They're like normal world.
Yeah, and they're getting a beautiful home-cooked meal, something that they don't often get to have, and they enjoy it so much. It's just so rewarding and gratifying to serve these men and women that have served our country.
And even when we take them fishing, it's not really fishing, but if they catch a bluegill that's 4 or 5 inches big, it's the greatest feeling in the world. And you just see them catching this fish, and it's, now the younger group, we've taken them to Rockford and they do some fishing, but the older guys, just to catch a small fish means the world to them, so.
And
Now,
their skill
when
is
did you
incredible.
get involved then, Peggy?
I got involved when Darren and I joined the church, so it was about a year before COVID.
Okay.
And it was just a wonderful experience every single time. And since then, I've gotten Spencer involved, and Corbin joins when he can. So it's,
And those are your sons?
Yes, so
Two
it's-
of your 3 sons?
yes, so it's become a little bit of a family affair.
Okay, and stuff. And what do you do when your involvement?
I provide a portion of the meal, and then I will serve the veterans. I will get drinks and refills, and when it's time for desserts to come out, everybody gets excited about that. A lot of the men and women that come during the day session are not very mobile, so it's a real honor to serve them and bring them something that they are looking forward to.
Why did you get involved with something like this? So I understand what you do.
Yes.
But what does it do for you? What does it mean to you to be involved?
When we joined the church, I wanted to do more. I was finally able to give more of my time. The boys were through school. We had other things established for them. And so I was really looking for a way to use my talent in the best way possible. And I enjoy cooking and serving, and this was really just a wonderful opportunity. And it turned out that I get far more than I give from this ministry.
So that hospitality is something that's...
Absolutely, yes.
Now, you mentioned you get something out of it as not only giving, but you also receive. What does that look like?
The smiles on these faces, and it's heartwarming. You never walk out of here thinking, well, that's done. You walk out thinking, wow, next time, what could I do more? What could I do better? What could I do to show these men and women how much they are appreciated?
Wow, okay. And Sam, how about you? Why did you get involved?
Well, I'm a veteran,
Okay.
and so I was looking to do
And you
something
served,
in the Army,
okay, for how many years?
4 years, 9 months, 15 days.
But who's counting?
But you brought that up, so I wanted to get involved with other veterans. I'd never fly fished before. So if anyone's thinking of joining, if I could learn to fly fish, anyone can learn to fly. And it's so enjoyable. It really is. But it's a way to reach out to other veterans and to help them. And as Peggy said, you see this look on their face, it just makes your day.
It's priceless.
Yes.
Yeah, and to be able to do that. As you've talked with other volunteers that come and stuff, what are some of the comments that you hear from them?
How much, in no particular order, how much they enjoy helping the veterans. Seeing them smile, talking, they've made friends. They've made their own individual friends with the veterans. We have different guys come in, and again, they say, Holy Cross is so welcoming. They enjoy coming here. It's so open. But the volunteers, they've made friends with the other veterans.
Well, that's good. What about a memorable moment? Is there, I'm sure there are, maybe a whole litany of them, but is there one in particular? Peggy, can you think of one that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Just last month, I was talking with one of the caregivers that comes with the group, and she said, none of these men that they're sitting with today live with each other. So when they're at Lovell, they are confined to their houses for safety reasons and for many reasons. But when they come here, they don't sit with the guys and women that they sit with every day. They sit with other veterans that they don't get to see on a daily basis. And this is the one place, and she said that, this is the one place that that can happen.
Wow. And why do you think that makes a difference?
Well, if you're staring at the same people day in and day out, and once or twice a month you get to come here and sit with people that you only see once a month. I mean, it's joyful. It's just, refreshing.
I remember one time, one of the staff members said to me, of all the outings, they try to do a lot with the vets at level and so forth. But she was telling me that of all of the opportunities, she said sometimes we have to kind of encourage, cajole, push some of the veterans to participate in things. She said this is the one event that they're always ready, they're always more than willing, and in fact, if there's a reason why they can't come, they get upset. It's kind of like, what do you mean we can't go and stuff? So I think it speaks to what you're saying. It fills a need for them in a way that maybe other things don't, and to be able to do that. And I think the staff recognizes that too, to be able to have that. And it gives them a chance to interact with the veterans in a different way, in a different context and stuff.
Exactly. They also get that little bit of a break that caregivers need.
Yeah, absolutely. Sam, how about you? A memorable?
I have two. One was evening session. We had a younger guy come in, and they had some dependency issues. And it was part of this 6-week program at their level. So we had some food, and we were teaching them how to cast. And we had a great time. He comes up to me and said, I want to thank you. This is the nicest place I've been in such a long time. And it just, made you feel good.
Yeah, yeah. And this would have been somebody probably, in their 30s?
Late 20s.
Late 20s, early 30s?
But a young guy was so happy. And then the other one, excuse me, Christmas is always a big event.
Right.
Dale and Paul provide the music. And we're getting ready to move inside, and a lady comes up through the front door, and I said, can I help you? And she said, I'm here to look for my dad. I said, well, who is he? And she points out. I said, why don't you join us? And they went in the sanctuary and sat side by side as we played Christmas music, held hands. And it was the sweetest thing I ever saw.
Yeah.
It was like, it was their Christmas.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty special, I think, sometimes you never know what the day is going to provide, right? And then, but if you're open, you get surprised in a good way. And those are the kind of surprises I think we need these days. To be reminded that there are people that care about one another. There are people that are willing to, live that way, show that to others. And there are people that, are willing to provide those opportunities for people to have these kind of moments. One that I remember, it was one of the outings. It was the day group, and it was a beautiful summer day, and we were at one of the lakes here in Lake County. I think it was down in Vernon Hills, and we were doing some cooking, hot dogs, hamburgers, that type of thing. And one of our members had brought her granddaughter with her. Okay, and there was one of the veterans. He always, I don't know if you remember this, Sam, he always wore headphones, and he would always said he didn't usually have too much interaction with people, anyone. I mean, he just, he if you brought food, he was always respectful, and that, not saying that. He just didn't talk a lot and stuff. And there was this moment where he was sitting on a park bench, and this young girl, she must have been like 13, 14, she went over and sat next to him, and he took his headphones off, and the two of them were having a conversation. And I have to tell you, it brought tears to my eyes, because I was thinking, for him to have that moment of intimacy and connection, and the generations, to be able to do it. I love it when we've included the Boy Scouts before, where they've come in the summertime and they've helped to do.
Spencer does the same thing when he's,
Yeah.
they just bond.
Right.
They do. He's got a group of friends that he looks forward to, and they look forward to seeing him, and he's trying to learn chess.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Well, that's good. So why do you think this is important for a congregation like Holy Cross to be involved? What do you think this is all about? Why do you think we should be doing this?
number one, you're helping people. And I think as Peg said, you get far more back, I do,
Absolutely.
than you're giving. But you're providing a need or serving other people. And they love coming here. Again, everyone enjoys Holy Cross. And anyone who's participated in this said the same thing. It means so much to us. We get so much out of it.
Absolutely. You know, my dad is a Korean War veteran, so given the opportunity to serve other veterans, that just, you know, pulled at my heart. I was so glad that Holy Cross offers that opportunity to people. So I think it's so important to keep it here.
Yeah, and you don't need to know how to fly fish. As I said, we have two groups. The evening group, they fish on Saturdays. If you want to learn to fly fish or just get out with really nice people,
Absolutely.
if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Well, I think, you know, the other thing I would just add to that is that I think of our values here at Holy Cross, the things that we try to lift up and say define all of our opportunities for ministry. Things like, for example, when we say, you know, come as you are, where you are. You know, what does that mean? Well, this is an example of that, right? To say, you come as you are, wherever you are in your life. And so you have veterans that are in different places, some of which are early on in recovery, and others that are towards the end of their lives, that just to know that someone, you know, shows them some compassion, respect, and to be able to do that, but also to accept them for where they are too, you know, with no preconceived, judgmental, prejudicial ideas, biases, or anything.
And it's not, we're not pushing religion in any way.
Yeah.
It's more friendship, caring, and everyone understands that. They really,
Which, when you think about it, I mean, when Jesus was pressed, you know, he was asked, you know, so what's the greatest commandment? You know, he talked about, well, the love of God, but then love of neighbor. And so, you know, in that way, we're living into that and to be able to do that and stuff. I think the other thing is one of the values that we try to lift up is the idea that, you know, we all have gifts. And Peggy, you've shared, you know, how this gives you an opportunity to share your gifts, and Sam the same way, you know, to be able to do this. I think what a wonderful way, and the fact that it's authentic, it's not forced, there's nothing manipulative about this. It's really being with them. And I've always appreciated this idea that one of the things I think Holy Cross is part of who we are, our DNA, our culture, is how do we accompany one another? And it's never been about you have to be a member in order to participate in that. And this congregation, you know, we're involved in a partner with a lot of wonderful ministries that bring us together in a lot of ways and a lot of opportunities to care for people, not just here in Lake County, but regionally, nationally, globally, and to be able to do that and to be a part of it. So if you guys, if you thought about it, are there opportunities for people to get involved or?
hey,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We are planning some upcoming meals, second Tuesday of every month. We've put the Healing Waters team on the CCB, so signing up can be very, very simple. It's just a couple hours a month is all.
And
we're
CCB
asking.
is Community Church Builders.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. It's our connection on the internet. That's
Yes, so if you want to sign up, you'll receive emails, and it's very, very simple then to decide how you'd like to participate.
Can they also reach out to you if they have any questions?
Absolutely.
Or call the church office to
Yes.
be able to do that. And Sam, where do you see some needs for?
volunteers to help when we do fishing, be with the veterans, take them out. It's, again, you don't need any experience.
Yeah.
Just come there, help, and you'll learn.
Yeah.
You'll be with a great group of guys.
Well, I just want to say thank you to both of you. I think, you know, it's always wonderful to hear these stories and to think about, you know, how we can be with others and walk with them. And, you know, not only as a congregation, but as individuals, as people of faith, and to be able to do that. And for both of you to share your gifts and your compassion towards others and to be able to do that. And it's kind of nice, like you said, it's been my experience as well, that when you know, you think about I'm giving back, but then you suddenly realize I'm also receiving as well. And it's pretty enriching, isn't it, when you think about it? I mean, it does change us, and we begin to think. I know that for me, personally, you know, my grandmother used to tell me all the time that when you share a meal with someone, when you leave that table, they're no longer strangers. You know, you break bread, you know, you now have a connection. And, you know, I think one of the beautiful things about Project Healing Waters is, you know, we now have a connection with these veterans. And they've served and given so much, and to know that they are cared for and respected, it's pretty powerful.
And if anyone knows any other veterans who would like to be involved,
Yeah.
we're always, it's no cost to them. So if there are any veterans.
That's a good
This is-
point. They don't even need equipment, do they?
No,
We
there's,
we make that all available.
We've sent 2 of them to Montana this year for a week, 4 or 6 to Michigan,
Yeah.
no cost. So if there's any veterans out there. that like
And
to
I
join.
might add that, you know, when we were looking at a veterans ministry early on, we are blessed here in Lake County with some really incredible veterans initiatives and stuff. So we were very thoughtful about saying, we don't need to replicate, nor do we compete with, but we were looking for something just totally different that could fill in. And I think we hit a homer here in some ways, a home run with this one, because it meets a need. And I think it's just wonderful to see that.
We'd reached out to the local VFW, one of them, and their commander came, and he was so impressed that day that he was just so impressed with what we do.
Yeah.
So now he's reaching out to other veterans of what we do here at Holy Cross.
So there's always opportunities to get involved, and also an opportunity to spread the word. So if you know a veteran, not only someone who could be on the receiving end, but also someone who could come and volunteer as well
Yes.
and do
Because we
that.
do have veteran volunteers
yeah,
that come
yeah,
too,
yeah.
so.
Wow, good. Well, thank you both for doing what you do and
Thank you
for
for
having this
starting the
conversation
program.
and everything. And again, we just remind you that there are a lot of amazing opportunities that happen here at Holy Cross. And it's wonderful when we can get together on Sundays and share and be in fellowship and think about what it means to be composing lives of faith, you know, as people of faith, as a community of believers. But it's also nice to be able to live into that in this way. So thank you again for joining us.